All right, so I'm going to skip the pleasantry today. Get right to the point. About a month ago, well, I say a couple months, probably edge last year. I can't remember the exact when, why, or how I saw this tweet, but I saw this tweet by this man named Zilly or Zelly. I don't know how to pronounce his man's name, so don't at me for butchering it if I did. This young African American man named Zelly is a teacher from New Jersey whose tweet read, "I love to see black people prosper." Now, on the surface level, I'm like, this tweet is lit. I love the message. I love the concept of seeing black people prosper. Yes, 100%. I like this. This is what I love. This is what I love to see. It was then met by a Caucasian woman saying, well, what about all people, or I mean, all people, or something around that lines that totally didn't need to be said and was totally relevant to the entire conversation. He then rebutted saying, well, I did say black people. Point blank, period. So this is a tweet from 2017, by the way. It's in the circulate around. I didn't see it up until then. I'm not a real big Twitter head. I've probably hopped my black ass back on Twitter, but that just depends on my mood because I really don't do tweets. But to see that from 2017, right? Just a tweet from 2017 where it wasn't that big of a racial divide or anybody being too hung up on racism. Being too hung up, that's bad choice of words. Let me rephrase that. Being totally focused on racism, because racism still exists to this day and it's all around us, but to not highlight anything of a racist value in 2017. I do not believe this about 3 years ago at this point, so I don't remember if there is or was. Just let me know in the comments. So today, on this very impromptu episode, because I've been gone for a while, we're going to talk about a few different things. We going to talk. I want it to be known that we are going to talk. We're going to talk about the insane notion that to be pro-black, that means you have to be anti-white. We're going to talk about the insane notion of everybody thinking that black people can be racist. I want to give like two sides of the argument. I did talk about this before, and I have some new information. I probably didn't say it the best I could before, so I will be kind of reiterating on that and what it means to represent black power, what it means to represent white power. All right. So for starters, the term of pro-black, as defined by the Urban Dictionary, is a lifestyle that encourages the economic growth and development of the black people as a whole, with the purpose of increasing the wealth and population of black people around the world. Whether it's spending money within the black-owned businesses in your community or online, promoting love for black people or encouraging black youth is its sole purpose. And encourage black youth is its sole purpose to keep uplifting black people in America to be proud and this at the same time be basically uplifted and have them be proud of themselves at the same time. So let me just kind of give you a little synopsis of that. Being pro-black is the lifestyle that you choose when you want to support everything that is black. That means you support black-owned businesses, you support the prosperity of black people, you support the prosperity, well, not prosperity, you support the prosperity of black people. You support that, the decision that, or the life, that outside your race, and it's just kind of how it is for anybody. And I'm talking to my Caucasian people right here, because I do have a couple white friends, and we do talk a lot. We don't talk about like this topic because Understandable. Most black people don't want to talk about it because they get a little emotional about it and get a little high strung, and white people don't want to talk about it because they obviously don't want to correct their own ignorance. But I'm here to talk about it. And for my Caucasian people out there, why? Just answer this. Because if you don't think like this, then it doesn't apply to you. But for the good amount of people who do think like this, why is it that for a black person or basically black people to want to prosper, that is detrimental to your lifestyle? Or for me, as a black man, wanting to date a black woman and marry a black woman, or support black businesses, or verbally and adamantly enjoy being pro-black, wishing on the economic growth of my black people, why does that hurt you so much? Why is that a detriment to your entire society in your views? Why is it that me promoting my black people above everybody else, as your people have done this entire time, the entirety of this country's existence, is all Caucasian people have done, is put their people above everyone else. They have made sure that they stay on top of the mountain every time. They make sure they eat first and everybody else gets the scraps. They have made sure that it was impossible for anybody else at one point to make it anywhere. They're literally the sole reason for the Civil War, slavery, the Civil Rights Movement, Jim Crow. Everything that has happened to minorities, especially black folks in this country, is because of Caucasian people. So when we get the chance to actually do something, when we get the chance to rise up and say, you know what, I want to see my people prosper, or even prosper ourselves, why is it met with so much disdain from you? I don't get it. Why does my way of living hurt you? How does that hurt you? Why does it hurt you? Why do you think that me being the way I am is detrimental to you? So because I do not want to utterly suck your dick and just succumb to each and every one of your desires, I'm just this bad person, or I'm just this person that's not cool, or I'm racist or prejudiced or reverse racist, which again is not a thing. The reverse racist card is not a thing, and I've talked about that before, so I'm just going to touch on that a little bit. Reverse racism does not exist because the true definition of racism is any prejudice, or pretty much any prejudice that you have against another ethnic group, or the ability to to view your ethnic group as superior than others. Okay, so with that being the point, it's not in any way, shape, or form racist to be pro-black. You can be pro-black and still have white friends. That means your views are different from theirs. That means your views come from opposite spectrum than theirs. If they cannot understand it, I don't think they should be your friend. But as a pro-black man who has Caucasian friends, I try to help them understand what is said and done in the black community. That, my friends, that is what I view as a pro-black person, because you can still be pro-black and have white friends, or date a Caucasian woman, or date a Hispanic woman, or anything else. You could do any of that to be pro-black. But the whole process of it is you want to see black people prosper. You don't want to see them acting a goddamn fool, acting stupid. You don't want to see that. What you want to see is you want to see them do things and be do things positively and be a success. That's it. So for somebody to jump on a tweet and say, well, all people for that matter, is literally the equivalent of me saying Black Lives Matter, and then you immediately, as a Caucasian person, saying all lives matter. I'm not saying nobody else's lives matter, but you are a fucking sheep that allowed the media to tell you that me saying Black Lives Matter meant only Black Lives Matter. Cool. So when everything goes down, and it has, and then it's going to be a video for another day. Why is it that a lot of Caucasian people like to literally hijack any form of encouragement or, well wishings for black people? Simple answer. It's because they feel entitled to. They feel as though pretty much my way of living is a detriment to theirs. That if I am not completely and utterly subjugated to their way of thinking and living, then it is a problem for them. Why is it a problem for them? Because they no longer have control of me. If they don't have control of me, they cannot profit off of me. If they cannot profit off of me, then I am too much of a free spirit and I need to be gotten rid of. Thank you. That's it. Right on the head. Right on the nail. Idiotic how some people could think that. But in retrospect, they really can't blame them. If I go, some odd 100 years being on top of the motherfucking mountain just to quickly have my position challenged by anybody, I would definitely act out in that way. But hey, this is not a video about understanding. This isn't a conversation about understanding why these mentally challenged people think this way. We're talking about pretty much why, and why it's a wrong way of thinking, in my personal opinion. And that's just my opinion. Oh well. So the second part of this, I want to kind of segue into the difference between black pride and white pride. Because, as you know, it's interesting. It's interesting to say this. People, especially, I'm going to say it, white people, Caucasian people, for the most part, want to revel in the fact that they are Caucasian. I have no problem with this, right? I have no problem with them, being prideful that they are Caucasian. That's just how it is. If I could be proud of being black, I feel like they should be proud of being white. However, you cannot sit here and say that you want this to be a thing and not want to change the definition of what white pride is. By definition, white pride is a white supremacist slogan appropriated from expressions of ethnic pride by various minority groups in the United States. White supremacists often use this slogan or variations thereof to deny any racism on their part, claiming that they are merely exhibiting white pride. So, that is a term used by the utmost delusional scumbags to make themselves seem not racist. So, you want to know why people don't, take kindly to white pride? Is because of the way it's been used in the past. If you want things to change, you have to change them yourself. So, in this instance, if you want to be prideful for being a Caucasian person, whether you're a male or a female or however you identify, you have to then change the definition of that word, because that word, that phrase, that mindset has been geared towards one specific people inside of your race, inside of your ethnic group, the most radical of radical dumbasses that live inside of you. And for the most part, it shows. Now, let's put it into consensus, right? Me saying black pride, that I'm black and I'm proud, is a form of uplifting myself. That means I, for a lack of better terms, am sitting here relishing in the fact that I am a African American man, and as an African American man, I am proud to be an African American man. Flaws and all, the judgment, the stigmatism, the stereotype, and everything that goes along with it. I'm proud of it, and I love it, and I will relish in this to the day I die. I will never choose to be anything different. On the other hand, to say that you are prideful as a white person means one of two things. That means you are either a neo-Nazi or you are an extreme racist white supremacist. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. And you're not doing, and arguing the fact that, oh, I get called racist because I say white pride and you can see black pride. Well, for any of you fucktards who, just think that way, let me give you a bit of a history lesson. we were not allowed to, and I'm talking about as black people in this country at one point, we're not even allowed to think about being something. We were always treated as dirt. We came over to this country as property. We were not human beings. We were not treated as humans. So how are you getting offended when we are just trying to reclaim our pride as people, which was A, stripped from us, B, beaten out of us, and C, destroyed for so long? So if we just up and say we are proud to be black, we are proud of our melanated skin, we are proud of everything that comes along with it, the big noses if you got it, the big ears, the big lips, the fat asses, the wide hips, all of that. And if you see that as a disgusting perversion, that means there's something wrong with you. That means there is something wrong with you. And you know what? The beauty standards, I'm getting to at a later video, but the beauty standards don't really help that cause anyway. Just saying. So inherently, the saying white pride does not make you racist, in my opinion. It is your actions and motives behind it that makes it racist. You can be, as I said earlier, you can be proud of being a Caucasian. That is fine. I don't genuinely care. It means you are proud of being a Caucasian person. I mean, whatever. You just like being white. All right, shit, I get it. But you also have to understand that when people hear this, when other people of other ethnicities hear this, they're going to lash out in a way that is understandable, in a way that is keen to how they feel. If you say that around a bunch of black folks, they're gonna be like, "Oh, nigga, that's racist, bro," and you're gonna up and say how, and they're gonna break it down. And if you listen and you learn something about it, maybe you can understand the concept of why it's not a bad thing, but needs to be changed. Because that is a social standing that I believe should be changed. Because I don't think that it's inherently racist, like all children are not inherently racist. It is something that is taught to them upon being, not even born into this world, but upon getting of age. That's it. But anyway, so last topic of the video, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I forgot the layout I had. I was gonna write it down, but I forgot the layout, so I'm just gonna go off the top of my head. I want to kind of summarize everything. This is my last point, because it was just a lot. So being pro-black is not anti-white. Being anti-anything means that you are against it. Being pro-anything means that you are for it. So by that definition, by both of these prefixes being defined as that, why is it that me being for black people means that I am against white people? No, my friend. That is not what that means. And if you understand the concepts and the social, and economical the social and economical portions of it, it is not in our best interest to be for anybody but ourselves, because everybody else, every other ethnicity, is in that sense for themselves. We are the only ethnicity, well, I think one of the only ethnicities, if not the only ethnicities, that worry about the prosperity of other people. That is inherently wrong, but I cannot sit by and say that, it's goes justly. Yes, I will say this. I do support black businesses. Even the ones that are kind of a bit shaky and kind of do a bunch of goofy stuff, I still support them because they're a black business. However, for me to say that is for me to hold them to a higher standard of production and value. Just as, just kind of speaking on my own terms. That's me as a black person, right? That's just me. I do not realize or do not succumb my, circumstance. Well, damn. I do not and will not ever allow myself to be any other way. All right. That does not mean I am against Caucasian people and everything that they stand for. That just means that I want to see my black people prosper. I want to see them at the top of the mountain. I want to see them eating everything. I want to see my niggas eat. I am not a part of the crab in a barrel mentality that other black folks seem to revel in. I am not a part about that. If I make it, I want my niggas to make it. That's how I view it. Point blank, period. Now, for anybody who sat through this entire 20-minute plus long video and didn't accurately hear the fact that, any of the topics that I said or any points that I brought up, I need you wholeheartedly to go fuck yourself. Because nobody has time for you. Because if any rebuttals in my comment section or on my Facebook post or anything of that nature saying that this and that and this, I will block you and I will potentially slap the shit out of you when I see you in public. That is violent. I know it's volatile. I know that's who I am. Have a blessed day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy. And I'm back.